I'd like to call the regular meeting of the Town of Abingdon, the Town Council meeting for November the 3rd, 2025 to order. First of all, I would say it's very nice to see a large contingency of residents and those in the outlying areas here tonight. We certainly appreciate your input to the issues that will come before the council tonight, and we certainly welcome that input to be given to us. If someone has not signed up for the public comment time, I do have the sheet up here at the desk, and we will be able to let you sign up to do that. Please remember that the comments are limited to 3 minutes during public comment time. I don't want anyone to think for a moment that we don't care to listen to you. But with a large number of people and a large number of issues that we have, it was adopted many years ago by the town council that it would be limited to 3 minutes. Other matters such as public hearing comments are limited to 5 minutes. And so if ordinances or other matters are scheduled to be heard, then there is additional time that is provided for that at that time. Anyone who comes to make comments to the council, if you would kindly come up to the podium, state your full name and your residential address for us so that we will have that for our records. Again, I welcome you tonight, and we'd ask the clerk at this time to call the roll.
Mr. Webb.
Here.
Ms. Quetch.
Here.
Ms. Pillion.
Here.
Vice Mayor Austin.
Present.
Let the record reflect Mayor Anderson is absent.
All right, thank you. Councilman Derek Webb will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you please remain standing, we're going to ask Pastor Steve Vaughn of the Trigg Street Church of God to come forward and lead us in prayer tonight, please.
Thank you. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come together tonight as a community. Lord, we pray for your wisdom and your direction as we make wise decisions to help your fellow man, to bless the people in our community. Father, we pray for grace. Lord, we pray for your direction in everything we do. We pray most of all that we would honor you. In Christ's name we pray. And everyone said,
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have approval of the agenda. I understand that there may be a need to move item N1, which is the swearing in of the Abingdon Police Department Lieutenant, up right after public comment time. Is there a motion by council to approve the agenda with that amendment?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any additional discussion? If not, Kim, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Webb.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Ms. Pillion.
Aye.
And Vice Mayor Austin.
Aye. All right, next we have approval of minutes. There are 2 sets of minutes that were attached to your draft agenda that was passed out last week to the council. The first one is October the 1st of 2025. Council had the opportunity to review those minutes. Is there a motion regarding the approval of those minutes?
I'll make the motion to approve the 2 sets of minutes from October 1st and October 16th.
All right, thank you. Is there a second?
Before we second that, I just would like to bring to your all's attention I was absent for the second meeting, the 16th.
All right.
Should we do that?
Let's do it separate then. Let's do October 1st, 2025 first. And that's your motion to approve
Yes.
those minutes. A second to that?
Second.
All right. Any additional discussion? Ms. Kingsley, we call the roll, please.
Mr. Webb.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Ms. Pillion.
Aye.
And Vice Mayor Austin.
Aye. All right, now October 16th of 2025. Had an opportunity to review those. Is there a motion in regards to those?
I'll make that motion.
A second to that motion?
I'll second.
Additional discussion? Ms. Kingsley, please call the roll.
Mr. Webb.
Abstain.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Ms. Pillion.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Austin.
Aye. All right, next we'll be moving to the public comment time. As I stated in the introduction a few moments ago, it is limited to 3 minutes per person, and I've been provided the list here for that. You'll be able to see the lights come on up at the front for those of you that'll be addressing council. You'll see a green light, and you'll see a yellow light, then you'll see a red light. So, first of all, I have Mr. Saul, Michael Lee Saul. Good to see you, Lee. Would you give us your name and your residence address so we'll have that, please?
Oh. Michael Lee Saul, 334 Valley Street, Northeast Abington.
All right, go right ahead, sir.
There's a alley that runs from Valley to Main, and on the map it's just called Alley Alley. And I like to see about renaming that in honor of my great uncle, Chief Robert T. Eden, Bob Eden, and see if it couldn't be called Chief Bob Eden Lane. It's a thoroughfare, goes all the way through from Valley to Main. There's no stop signs at when you come up the hill to Valley. There's no stop sign there, so it needs to have signage added. And when you come down by the Surface Banana Company, it used to be it's Highlands Heating and Air now. It needs to have a stop sign because there's no signage there either. And then for the last probably 30 years, it's never been paved or anything. And the road shoulder is done fell in. And I put a cone right next to the bush that I own to warn people that there is a dip there and everything. And I took a picture, and it's like this deep. You can't get through there. And then Highlands, they had a gooseneck trailer one night parked there, was sticking out right in the middle of Plum Alley. And back on my great-granddaddy's map, it says Chickapin Alley. But now it's Plum. But from where everything was tore up and done, all the manholes and everything, it never was fixed back right. And then there was a bunch of gravel and stuff put there so they could have access to the creek to fix that project. They left the gravel down. Now Highlands is parking all over my bottom property. And basically, just tearing it up everywhere. But people, unfortunately, has no common courtesy anymore to where they can say, hey, could we park here? No, they just take it upon themselves and do it, unfortunately. But it's got all that gravel and stuff down there. And my mowing man, he's always throwing rocks. So it'd be nice to have it put back like it was before all the construction and stuff. But, you know, to pave that alley and to name it. Then I've got pictures of my uncle and stuff. I shared it with Tim back there. Me and Tim went to school together and graduated in '84. But I appreciate y'all's consideration of that. God bless y'all, and thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Saul. Next, I have Julianne Miles.
Hi, good evening. I'm Julianne Miles. I live at 384 Oakmont Drive in Abingdon, Virginia. I know you have a lot of people on the agenda tonight, so I'll try to be very brief. I am here to talk about the ordinance about canvassing solicitors and peddlers. I realize there's probably been some work done on this since the last time we had the first reading of this. On the second reading, there's still some problematic language with this. And it's deep in your packet, so I don't know if you want to flip to that now or not, but I'll just say your definition of canvassers, which is on page 56, I think. You talk about canvassers, it means people who go upon premises of any private residence in the town, not having been requested or invited by the occupant for the purpose of distributing or presenting verbal or written messages, ideas, or information regarding any cause, issue, or religion, and this term may include, and you give some examples. So all of those canvassers are people who are pursuing things that are not commercial, okay? There's nothing commercial in that definition. When you go over to a couple of pages over on page 58, you have a place where you have exemptions, people who are exempt from needing a permit for this. And there's been added some language in here, subparagraph 4 specifically, which is on page 58. You have canvassers, solicitors, or vendors. So those are all lumped together. I still find that problematic because canvassers are not commercial, whereas solicitors and vendors are commercial. And I feel like that needs to be split out separately. In describing the exemption there, most of the requirements there are not really problematic except for subparagraph D, which says they have means of identification provided by the organization on whose behalf they are canvassing. So I know all of you have done some canvassing in your day. You have knocked on doors, and you have probably knocked on doors for other people. And while it may not be problematic to provide some type of identification if you're just canvassing the town of Abingdon for an Abingdon office, imagine if you're canvassing for Winsome Earl Sears, who has canvassers spread out all across the Commonwealth, providing all of them with some type of identification. I was canvassing myself last weekend. I was canvassing for 4 different candidates. Would I need identification from each of them? And what counts as identification? Is it just a button, or is it a picture ID, or is it a letter that has their name on it? How are you going to define that? So to my mind, and I'll stop there, I just feel like there needs to be a breakout that canvassers, you've said before, would be exempt, and that's non-commercial. If you're going to require something for commercial, that's fine, but there needs to be a split in that language. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you, Ms. Miles. All right, next is Margie Muncy.
Good
Good
evening.
evening.
I'm Margie Muncy. I live on 304 East Main Street. We've been there for 25 years. I've loved every moment of it. Historical home, Daniel Lynch house. I brought some videos tonight for you to view. So, not sure how this works.
If you just say play, he'll play.
I'm sorry.
Ms. Muncy, let me remind you, we've got 3 minutes.
Okay.
And
All right. So
we may have seen some of these.
Yeah, but
I'm
how
not
do I
sure.
need to, what do I just hit
Just
play?
tell him
I hit the
to
click,
play.
or
Just
I
say
tell
play.
someone to hit it? Okay, all right. So I have some videos. We're discussing the noise ordinance law. It's hard to come in and tell you that the volume is too loud, that it's out of control. I understand you dropped the time from 11 or 12 to 11, but the issue is more than that. It's volume. It's in our homes. So I want to just play some videos. These are inside of our house. Go ahead. Okay, we can go on. We can move on from that one. Okay. That's just a Thursday night, 10, 15 p.m. I think that's the same one. How do I play the next one? Okay. It's Friday night. Again, that's our guest bedroom. This goes from 10 to 12. Every weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, you can go on. Oh, I know it says Friday night, but, all right. Seems to be a little kind of mixed up there. Okay. It's 11:51 p.m. That's in my guest bedroom. That's my daughter at home. Finally getting her, my son-in-law finally getting released from the doctors to come home and visit us. We're working from home, trying to do 6 and 7 a.m. Zoom meetings. This is what they listen to in our guest bedroom. Okay, you can move on. I know there's time from here, so I'm going to keep moving. So we can move to the next one. Okay, and then, so this one is on a Sunday. This is from Sunday afternoon to like 9:30. And so this is after we've listened to Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Saturday night karaoke. We don't know what's going on here. We don't know if it's a a business party, we don't know if it's a private party, we really just don't know. You know, it's just, and again, this one's from, you go ahead and hit the play. It's from 7. This is our carriage house. It's our guest carriage house, our vacation rental. We did have guests there that afternoon, so this goes on into the evening. Okay. This is our sunroom. So I just wanted to show this to you so you can see what we're going through and why we're asking the noise ordinance law to drop down from 12 a.m. or drop to 10 p.m. so we can sleep at night, 8 hours of undisturbed sleep. And you need some control on your volume, amplification, speakers, microphones, any time of the day, 7 days a week. We're just asking for you to revisit this noise ordinance law, please. We thank you. We thank you for your service. We really appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And I appreciate your understanding regarding the
Oh,
time.
no,
Thank you.
It's just, it's difficult to
Yes, ma'am.
get
Thank
through,
you
but
so
we
much.
appreciate you guys. We really do. It's a hard job to have. We wouldn't want it.
Next on my list is Mr. Muncy, Mike Muncy.
Good evening. Mike Muncy, 304 East Main Street. And I guess I'm the second half of the tag team here, but I'll try to be to the point and not take us too far. Of course, the reason we're here, Article 2, noise, Section 3030 through 3036. We're particularly concerned about Section 3033A9, which provides a blanket exemption to commercial establishments zoned for mixed use, a complete exemption from the ordinance from hours. It was 7 a.m. to 12 a.m., but now it's 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. is my understanding. I guess our concern is we don't understand why this particular type of commercial establishment needs to have a complete exemption from the statute during the day, the hours of 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. It just does not seem to be equitable to treat them differently than other commercial establishments and differently from the residents in the area also in our town. The second thing that I'm concerned about is the quiet hours. And I've been reading lots of noise ordinances on the internet since this all came up. I guess I hadn't really keyed in on noise ordinances, but one thing that runs through all of the noise ordinances that I've seen is that there's a certain quiet time that is set out in most all of them. And the standard really nationwide is from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., what you see predominantly, and that allows people to have a good 9 hours of downtime, not bombarded with unnecessary noise or unrealistic noise. For some reason, there was a decision. We used to be 10 to 7, as I understood. It was changed to 11 to 7, and I'm just respectfully requesting that we look at that again and see if it would not be appropriate to turn it back to the 10 rather than the 11. And finally, I'm concerned about the ordinance as to what restrictions there are on noise during the day, the non-quiet hours, from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. currently, as I understand the ordinance. The only thing that I see in there really that's being looked at is noise coming from motor vehicles and noise coming from animals that town members have in their homes. But there really is nothing specifically in concrete setting out any restrictions on amplified sound.
No, go ahead and finish. No, sir.
So amplified sound is what we're concerned about. There's a whole section in there about getting permits to do amplified sound. But when I read the statute, I don't understand who it applies to. Does it apply to commercial establishments? Does it apply to residents? Does it apply to nobody? Or do we just get permits from 11 at night to 7, but during the day we're just wide open? That's not what most of the other ordinances nationwide have. And I would like to look at it, whether it be permitting, a more structured permitting, or whether it be a decibel determination. Many of the statutes do. I don't know. That may be cumbersome, but I think it's worth looking at. I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, sir. Next on the list is Dave Collins.
I've had a mistake. I just thought I was just signing in. I'm doing this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Collins. Appreciate those fine remarks. All right, next on their agenda is proclamations. We have a proclamation tonight recognizing November of 2025 as Veteran and Military Families Month, and a presentation to members of the Veterans Advisory Board for their service. We did amend our agenda, didn't we? Thank you for reminding me. I'll come back to that. We're going to do the swearing in. We moved it on our agenda, and I didn't move it on mine. So, yes, at this time, if we'll have the members of the police department that come forward. Ms. Kingsley, I understand, is the chief's got some remarks to make first, and then we'll have the swearing in of the lieutenant.
Yes, Kayla, you have to stand up here now. Good evening. Thank you, Vice Mayor and members of council, for moving us up in the agenda, and everyone else. Tonight, it's my honor to recognize one of our own at the Abingdon Police Department, newly promoted Lieutenant Kayla Riley. I want to say congratulations on your well-earned promotion, and I want to celebrate this important milestone in her career and her life. Kayla began her journey with the Abingdon Police Department in May of 2014, bringing with her a Bachelor of Science degree in Criminal Justice from Bluefield College and a passion for serving her community. Originally from Wren, Ohio, which we don't hold against her, she quickly made Abingdon her home, and over the past 11 years, she's become a cornerstone of our department. Throughout her career, Kayla served in patrol and our CTAC unit and community relations, and is a member of our bike patrol unit. She's always approaching each assignment with professionalism, compassion, and especially dedication. She's also a general instructor at our academy, a defensive tactics instructor, a speed measurement instructor, a taser instructor, an ASPETON instructor, and a RAD instructor, in which many members of the community love her RAD class. Her leadership extends beyond instruction. She's completed a couple FBI LEDA public information officer programs, including their master program. She's implemented our agency's new policy manual. She's written a number of grants. She keeps up with the monetary value. And those grants have directly improved our agency, our training, safety, and one of those grants was even for the additional position, the additional SRO at Abingdon High School, which now that I have a daughter at Abingdon High School, I truly appreciate as well. Outside of work, Kayla is known for her competitive spirit and enthusiasm for pickleball, for those people that have played her in pickleball. Whether it's a friendly match or community game, the same determination and teamwork she demonstrates at work shows through on the court. Just another example of her energy and her connection with everything she does. So Lieutenant Riley officially began serving in a new role in July, but in true form, she hit the ground running. Just a few short months, she stepped in confidently into her leadership position where she is guiding her teams, organizing key initiatives, and setting high standards for professionalism. And this evening's ceremony gives us the opportunity to pause and reflect and celebrate what she has already accomplished and what she's going to accomplish in this new chapter. So right now, I'll ask Ms. Kingsley if she will come down and officially swear her in as lieutenant.
All right, Kayla, raise your right hand, please. Ready for this? Okay. Do you, Kayla Richardson Riley, solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of the State of Virginia, and the laws and ordinances of the Town of Abingdon, that you will abide by the code of ethics for law enforcement officers and the rules and regulations of the Town of Abingdon, that you will faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all duties incumbent upon you as a lieutenant for the Town of Abingdon, according to the best of your abilities. With that, I will have Mr. Chief Holbrook, and we will get your signature also. Roger, it's official. We're all glad she's on our side.
In addition to being sworn in, I would invite her husband, Matthew Riley, to come up and pin on her new badge. The badge is more than just metal and an animal. It represents honor, sacrifice, and responsibility. When a family member pins it on, it becomes something even more profound. It's a reminder that behind every officer is a family who serves alongside them, who shares in the long nights, the missed holidays, and the quiet worries that come with this calling. So, as Matthew pins on this badge on Kayla's uniform tonight, it signifies not just her promotion, but the continued partnership, love, and support that make her service possible. Now you can take it.
Congratulations.
So on behalf of the Abingdon Police Department, congratulations, Kayla. I can't wait to work many more years with you.
Thank you. And congratulations from the council here, too.
Yes, congratulations.
All right. I think I'm back on track now. Let's go back to our proclamation that we started with just a moment ago. This is a proclamation, as I said a moment ago, which recognizes November of 2025 as Veteran and Military Families Month. We'll have a presentation to the Veterans Advisory Board for their service. Councilman Webb is going to read this proclamation for us.
My pleasure. This is a proclamation recognizing November 2025 as Veteran and Military Families Month, whereas the United States of America is a beacon of liberty, opportunity, and democracy, and our freedoms are secured through the dedication and sacrifice of those who have worn the uniform of our armed forces, and whereas since 1996, November has been officially recognized as Military Family Month by presidential proclamation to honor the tremendous sacrifices and unwavering support provided by the spouses, children, parents, and loved ones of our nation's service members, and whereas our service members do not serve alone, for behind each soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, Coast Guardsman, and Guardian of the United States Space Force stands a family whose strength, resilience, and courage sustains the mission and contributes directly to the readiness of the United States military, and whereas more than 16 million veterans currently live in the United States, including thousands in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and their honorable service in times of peace and war continues to strengthen the security, prosperity, and well-being of our nation, and whereas the Commonwealth of Virginia is home to one of the largest concentrations of active duty military personnel, veterans, and Department of Defense civilians in the nation, with more than 680,000 veterans and numerous military installations, contributing to the economic vitality, cultural richness, and civic leadership of our communities. And whereas the observance of Veterans Day on November 11th remind us of the solemn debt we owe to all who have served and to the Gold Star families who have borne the greatest sacrifice for our country's freedom. And whereas the red poppy has become an enduring symbol of remembrance for those who have given their lives in defense of liberty, first inspired by World War I battlefields and later embraced by the American Legion and Veteran of Foreign Wars as a tribute to the fallen, and whereas the town of Abingdon honors the dedication of its veterans, service members, and military families, and affirms its commitment to ensuring they are supported, valued, and provided the resources they need to thrive, and therefore the town's Veteran Advisory Board encourages all citizens to wear a red poppy from November 1st through Veterans Day, November 11th, 2025, as a visible sign of remembrance and respect for the sacrifices made. Now, therefore, and it says, Dwayne Anderson, Mayor of the Town of Abingdon, do hereby proclaim November 2025 as Veteran and Military Families Month in the Town of Abingdon and call upon citizens to join in honoring the service, strength, and sacrifice of our veterans, service members, and their families.
Thank you, Mr. Webb. Could I ask that the members of the Veterans Advisory Board come forward? Present that to you, okay? We won't have to present it. Thank you, Vicki. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. If you guys will stand right here, we're just going to say a few words to our panel up here. So today we would like to begin by expressing our sincere gratitude to the Town Council and our sponsor, Amanda Pillion. Your willingness to collaborate with a group of veterans demonstrates exceptional courage and generosity. Believe us, we're a difficult group to work with, right?
Not true.
Whenever our board has sought assistance, you have responded with kindness and unwavering support. This generosity has had a significant impact, enabling us to be more visible within our community. Your backing has strengthened our efforts to raise awareness and promote veteran recognition throughout our community. We are deeply appreciative of your commitment to these important objectives. Tonight, we gather to honor and acknowledge the individuals whose dedication and hard work have played a crucial role in shaping the direction and success of our board. These committed individuals are willingly participated in extended meetings, contributed a multitude of ideas, and invested significant time in planning events with us. Their perseverance and thoughtful input have helped guide our board's efforts and refined our pursuits each year. As we reflect on our progress, it is clear that their contributions have made a meaningful impact. We extend our heartfelt thanks to each person involved, recognizing the difference they have made in advancing our shared goals. And we have some folks on our team that are pretty good woodwork people, and we have a couple of things that we'd like to give you guys. These are our plank holders, original members of our board, and we're grateful for all the input that they gave us. So to Tim Estes, our only civilian on the board, and we would love to have another civilian if there's anybody out there that would like to join our board. The input's been great and valuable to us, okay? We love you still. Miss you. Says, with deep gratitude, the Town of Abingdon Veterans Advisory Board presents this token of appreciation for your dedicated commitments and contributions to our veterans.
Thank you very much.
Francine, we have the same thing. Same thing, Francine. Thank you very much from 2022 to 2025. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
The hardworking board of the Veterans Advisory Board.
I did something.
She's hitting all buttons.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, board. Council. No.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, again, thank you. We'll move on our agenda tonight to public hearings. We actually have two public hearings that are on the agenda tonight. As I said in the opening remarks and the welcome, you are welcome to make comments regarding the public hearing portion of either of these two matters. Your remarks will be limited to 5 minutes in a public hearing. And as before, we'll have you approach the podium, give your name and your address. Prior to opening the public hearing, I'll ask town staff to give us an overview of the public hearing regarding a 15-year lease of property between the town and the Depot Artists Association, Incorporated, a nonprofit Virginia corporation located at 314 Depot Square, also known as the Arts Depot.
Yes, sir, thank you. The Arts Depot has been well, we own it, obviously, and we maintain the outside of it, and the inside of it is by the Arts Depot, and they've been an organization for 35-ish years, and they do it's more of a, have they, say, an incubator of sorts. They've got a couple different resident artists that occupy the place, and about 6-8 months ago, they contacted me. They were wanting to put in for a grant in order to get some design work to help repurpose the inside of it as they approach another couple years of existence. And one of the things, in order to get the grants, what they have found was that they were on a much shorter term lease, and they were asking for an extended period on the lease in order to help to get the grants. Sometimes your the granting agencies want to see that they're going to get some return on the investment, so they wanted a longer term. And we have other properties in town that we lease for an extended periods of time as well. And even though the group now is great, I fully anticipate that in the future they'll continue to have great folks in there. And there's a lot of neat things that come out of the Arts Depot over the years. And so this is just a request to grant them a 15-year lease. It'll still be $1 a year, so I don't see it being a big moneymaker, but I do see the grants that they're putting in for, I'm familiar with, and I think it'll really help stepping up to the next level. It'll be a good thing for the town and a good thing for the artist community in town as well.
Thank you, Mr. Cochran. The council will have any questions, Mr. Cochran? All right, if not, I'd like to open the public hearing on this issue. I'd like to invite anyone who would like to speak in favor or opposing this issue that Mr. Cochran just delivered to us to come forward to the podium and give us your comments, please. No? All right. Hearing no public comments, I'll declare that the public hearing is now closed. Next tonight on the agenda is our second public hearing. This is a public hearing regarding a proposed special use permit for a recreational substance retail business in the general business district of B2, tax map ID 105-6-23B. It's located at 763 Cummings Street in Abingdon. I'd like to have staff give us an overview of this, please.
Gabriel Gaspari, Senior Planner for the Town of Abingdon. So, yes, David Richards is the applicant and Jimmy Stewart is the owner. They have requested approval for a special use permit to allow a recreational substance retail business in the B2 district. Some background on it. Smoker's Choice, that's the recreational substance business that's wanting to move, has operated over 6 years within the Kroger Shopping Center. Smoker's Choice was informed their lease would not be renewed at their current location. So they're looking to relocate further southbound on Cummings Street to 763 Cummings Street. There are specific use standards that go with allowing a recreational substance business in the B2 district. One of them is they must be located at least 2,000 linear feet from any public or private school, so that's pre-K through 12. There were no schools located within that 2,000 buffer. Also, there can be no existing recreational substance businesses within that 2,000-foot buffer. None were found. If it is granted approval, the hours would be set from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And it's not in the OH or EC. In terms of signage, there's already an existing freestanding sign there. They would be allowed to utilize that. In terms of parking, the building is used by 2 businesses. They do have enough parking for both, for this business, if approved, and the existing one. That's a hair salon there. It's not located in the flood zone, so there's no problem with that. The SUP findings are the proposed recreational substance retail business must adhere to the hours of 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Currently, there is an existing dense tree line along the west property line, screening this location from undeveloped land outside of town corporate limits. The existing tree line should remain intact to preserve that natural screening. demonstrate that there will be no undue adverse impact on the surrounding neighborhood in terms of public health, safety, or general welfare. Directly across from Cumming Street to the east is another parcel, Zone B2. Adjacent to the south of this are a significant number of properties zoned low-density residential, R1, and follow along the east side of Cumming Street, south to the town corporate limit. And third, show that the proposal meets the applicable specific and general standards required by this article. Again, no schools and no existing recreational substance business were found within that 2,000 buffer. And then there were conditions that were set in that the commission discussed with the applicant. These are the following. Wall signage be limited to a maximum of 50 square feet. Wall signage faces must be a singular color as approved by Planning Commission or white. Freestanding or other types of signage proposed at a later date. Color scheme is to match that of the wall sign. One freestanding sign shall be allowed using the existing freestanding sign structure. Window signage is limited to 10% of all windows for that building. Window signage shall not be illuminated. No signage can advertise a marijuana leaf or other references to the genus cannabis. And that's by state code. No architectural lighting may be around the windows, door, or building facade. No music shall be played after 5 p.m. Monday through Sunday. And the request was approved unanimously with all those conditions I just listed. We did have one absentee, that was Mr. Wilson, but other than that, everybody else approved the motion with those conditions as I just stated.
Thank you, sir. Council have any questions? Thank you again. All right, at this time, I'd like to open the public hearing regarding the proposed special use permit that has been described here, and invite anyone who would like to comment on that to come to the podium and give us your comments regarding that, please. All right, seeing no rush to the podium, I'm going to declare the public hearing at this time closed. And we will move on our agenda to resolutions tonight. A number of two resolutions in particular that we'll be discussing tonight. First is a resolution for public street names to be added to the street inventory and the urban maintenance inventory for two public rights-of-way, Tail Race Drive and Mill Pond Lane. Could we have staff review this for us, please?
So this is for a new residential development that we have going in. It's off of Whites Mill Road. And so the streets do meet the VDOT standard to be in our urban maintenance inventory and everything. Staff has meticulously reviewed the design of the development, the roads, the streets, and the names do match up with like how we use drive and lane in this case, do match up with how we use those with our existing streets. So there will be no deviation in that. Other than that, they just need approval from the town council to bring these into our street maintenance and urban maintenance. Then they get a plat sign and then they go record at the courthouse.
Included in our packet, there was some discussion that Mr. Cochran put in there, or perhaps you, about the advantages of our doing that. Could you just review that quickly with us, please?
So before we had this, there was no need for, and this one came outside of it, but they were willing to compromise with us because we've been working on an ordinance change and it's in effect where we don't allow any private streets. Before, that was allowed, and we didn't really have too much control of how we could have developers do the streets. So we had a lot of islands happening, which is not great for EMS and all that, and also cuts off other connectivity aspects. Now we have that in place. This is kind of the first one coming online that would reflects us having another say in that, so we can make sure that we have that connectivity. All the streets meet VDOT standards, so we can have maintenance of them properly. Some of the ones that we had before are private ones, and they're not VDOT approved. So we look to retrofit that. But
We'll have the responsibility for the maintenance, the upkeep, the snow plowing, things along those lines.
Yep, and we would this would go into our urban maintenance fund, so we would get money for maintaining these streets as well.
Very good. Any questions regarding that?
If you're ignorant like me of what Tail Race and Mill Pond were about, that's because of White's Mill, and Tail Race is part of the thing that
you
could explain to me why Tail Race is the name.
Yeah, so I can go into that if you want, but pretty much they're paying an homage. These these names of the streets are paying homage to White's Mill. Tail Race and Mill Pond have a connection to powering a water mill and all that kind of stuff. So they're paying homage to the main street they're coming off of with those names.
Thank you.
I said, just for the mention on the urban maintenance, the key is when developers, they put roads in, and if they don't meet spec, then it's all fine for the first 10 years, but then in 10 or 15 years, everybody wants to know why we're not fixing their roads. And so we try to encourage people to have them in the inventory, so that way they're built to spec, and then we'll get the maintenance, and then in 15 or 20 years, people won't be saying, why did they ever allow this? Which is almost always what happens. So it's just it's good that they're doing that, and it'll help maintain the property values as well.
All right. Thank you. What is the pleasure of the council in regards to this resolution?
I'd make a motion to adopt that resolution.
All right. Second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Any additional discussion regarding it? If not, Ms. Kingsley, will you call roll, please?
Mr. Webb.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Ms. Pillion.
Aye.
And Vice Mayor Austin.
Aye. All right, thank you. Next on the agenda is a discussion regarding the proposed special use permit that was discussed just a moment ago regarding a recreational substance and retail business in the general business district of B2 on 763 Cummings Street, and the tax map number is in your information. You've already heard that discussed here tonight in the public hearing held in regards to it. Is there a motion in regards to this proposed special use permit? And please recall that the Planning Commission approved it with a number of exceptions that are set forth in your packet.
I would make a motion to adopt that resolution with all the restrictions that the Planning Commission had put into their motion as well.
Thank you, sir. A second?
I'll second.
All right, second to that motion. Any additional discussion at this time? If not, Ms. Kingsley, call the roll, please.
Mr. Webb.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch. Ms. Pillion.
Aye.
And Vice Mayor Austin.
Aye. All right, let's move to the first reading of ordinances. First reading of an ordinance to enact an emergency management program for the town. Mr. Cochran and Chief Estes, I believe, will give us an overview of this proposed ordinance.
Yes, sir.
Hi.
How y'all doing? Yeah, so basically, we learned last year when the hurricane came through, the town, we operate pretty much as an island of ourselves when it comes to responding and taking care of the community and the surrounding areas. And one of the things we've been doing as a staff is getting everybody trained up. There's post 9/11, a bunch of different regulations came in at the federal level in order to allow for emergency management and just to have a more structured process in place. And so the staff has already been getting all that training up to speed. And thankfully, when I came here, I already had it all, so I don't sit through the training twice. But the nice part is it puts in a structured way of how we operate and how we respond to certain emergencies. And it also allows us to I believe, respond more efficiently and effectively for the people that we are helping. And then it also puts in structured roles so that when an incident happens, you just don't have people saying, what am I supposed to be doing? So this way we have finance has their role, police has their role, obviously, and law enforcement, and the fire. Everybody has different roles, and then we have a structured documentation way of doing things so that we get reimbursed for the things that we are doing. And it's been, even though we didn't have this ordinance in place, we had the workflow in place from the last storm. It's really been super effective for us. And so this is just a way of codifying what we've been operating as. That essentially.
Yep. Good evening. So the Code of Virginia allows towns that's over 5,000 in population to do, in our world, become an EM town, emergency management town. So this ordinance adoption, if it is adopted, is step one of 6 that would allow the town to become an independent organization to run emergency management for the town of Abingdon. Right now, we fall under the powers of Washington County and what they do, and so there is a state code. That's why I'm the emergency coordinator, because I make sure that their emergency operations plan works for us. We saw that with Helene and all the damage that happened to our neighbors in Damascus and Taylor's Valley. They were really focused over there, and rightly so, they should have been, because of the damage that they had here in that area. And we had to request assistance, but it was really hard to get a hold of them because of communications were down and lots of things like that. So this allows us to take care of ourselves, still be a partner with them and still work with them, but in the long run, it makes things more efficient and effective for us. That day, I know Ms. Pillion, when she was the mayor and vice mayor, they came over to the fire station when we set up our emergency operations center, myself and the chief of police, public works director, and others, and we were able to take care of all the citizens in town and take care of the things we needed. So this is just the first step of 6, and it would just make things a lot better for us here in the town. It makes it a lot easier. It makes grants. We would become eligible for grants. Right now, we would have to apply with the county. If this is adopted and we are approved to be an emergency management town, then we can apply for those grants on our own, and we can, upgrade our emergency operations center, upgrade shelters, and all sorts of things we can get. So, but this is just the first step.
And that doesn't eliminate our working with the county. We can
Absolutely
enter into mutual aid agreements like we do with other.
Right, and that's even in the ordinance, that we have to have those type of plans to work together, and they can't do it by themselves, and neither can we, but it just allows us to work a whole lot more efficient, and just be able to do that, and don't have to, another level of government we wouldn't have to go through. We just take care of it ourselves.
Questions from council, discussion?
I'll just say that I have full faith in all of you as far as your ability to keep us safe and to handle these situations. The way things were handled during Helene, although we didn't have nearly the issues that a lot of other places had, you guys had it under control from the very beginning. And like I said, I have full faith, and if this is what you think is best, then I am completely in favor.
Any other questions or discussion? All right, shall this proposal be rejected, or shall it move on to a second reading on November 20th? All right, hearing no objection to it, it shall be moved to a second reading on November the 20th. Thank you, gentlemen. Next tonight, we have the second reading of an ordinance granting a franchise agreement to IGO Technology Incorporated to operate and maintain a telecommunications system in the town of Abingdon. Mr. Cochran, would you give us an overview of this, please?
Sure. Yeah, this is, IGO is he? Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, he's hiding in the back there. The IGO is a broadband company that is, they're running cable out to Grundy area. Is that right? Yes, yeah. Oh, yeah, so they're currently running cable through town, and in their process of working through their, running the cable, they've had people that have approached them but interested in doing cable business in town, or being able to sell cable in town or fiber in town. And in order for them to be able to do that, they needed a franchise agreement. And so this is just a way to offer them a franchise agreement so they can be able to sell in town. And the benefit is if competition is often good when it comes to services like that. And so this, I think that'll give our residents a broader opportunity to have good service and hopefully at a better price.
And so council had some questions on the second reading about requiring a bond and abandoned lines. Mr. Cochran did a lot of background checking with our surrounding utilities, and I believe the answer was that although there are a lot in the middle of town, that's because there's a central office from CenturyLink, there's a substation from Appalachian Power, and there are just a lot of lines in use. None of them are dormant or abandoned. In the history of the franchises that have been granted for utilities that are on lines, nobody's aware of any ones that have ever stopped serving the town or abandoning their lines in place. As a result of that, we talked to the treasurer. She says that the town has never required a bond for that purpose. And so if we did that in this instance, could be discriminatory. So I think staff's recommendation would be to adopt the ordinance as.
Yeah, there was the discussion the last time, the concern with the lines and the number of lines that we have on some of the utility poles.
Yeah, and I can tell you, even though we have a lot of lines, they're actually really neat compared to when you travel around. Ours are considerably neater than a lot of places that I've seen. Yeah, it's just a factor of burying lines is inordinately expensive. So it's the way you have to do it is just have what we have, just keep them neat.
All right, what is the pleasure of the council regarding this matter?
I'll make a motion to approve this ordinance.
I'll second it.
Any additional discussion? If not, Ms. Kingsley, will you call the roll?
Mr. Webb?
Aye.
Ms. Quetch?
Aye.
Ms. Pillion?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Austin?
Aye. All right, thank you. Next, we have set forth in the agenda is the second reading of an ordinance to amend Chapter 18 Business, Article 6 Peddlers, Vendors, Solicitor, and Canvassers. It has changed since the last time that we were here. So it's, at least I guess we could call it a modified ordinance from the first reading. Mr. Cochran, are you going to give us an overview of this?
Yeah.
Beyond what we've already heard.
Step in. So we had reviewed and revised and tweaked some of the language. I think there's some underlying misunderstanding of how this particular ordinance works. So at the beginning, and I think council understands this, Mr. Austin, I'm happy to expound on it.
Sure.
For the public. It is definitions that include things, and we have numerous ordinances that work this way, that you define things in clear categories, and then so you're clear on what those entities are. Canvassers, for instance, in this case, has been the subject of discussion, and then you accept it from those ones. There are people who could be canvassing for things that are other than political or religious reasons that would require a permit, but people who are canvassing door to door for political parties wouldn't. How we got in this ordinance, in particular, as we pointed out the last time, has been in place since 2006. My understanding is how it came to light in the current circumstances, that people were coming door to door unannounced with no documentation of who they were or what they were doing. I think the chief got a visit at his own home for that purpose. So it is a constitutional and reasonable restriction to make people identify who they are and what group they are with to essentially otherwise trespass on private property. You don't have a right to go on somebody's, walk up to their door for any reason. So this is a proper limitation of, as we've discussed before, time, place, or manner. There's another 4-part test for limiting free speech in that way. So we tailored the ordinance to have all those things in place. I'll point out that if my grammar is wrong, Mrs. Jennings was my English teacher, so we can take that up with her. But I think that we have addressed all the questions that the people who commented had. I do think that it's proper and needed and addressed the questions and the issues that staff had for the council to consider.
There are several things when I reviewed the agenda that I had some concerns about. First of all, on the first reading, it has changed from that first reading to some extent to this reading. We've had it a relatively short period of time to be able to review it and to consider if those changes are appropriate or if those modifications are appropriate. And we've heard at least one comment tonight that questions some of those issues that, we could certainly give more consideration to. It's difficult. We've talked about it before, I know, about having a red line revision so that we can see what the changes are, rather than having to have one on one side and the other on the other side and try to compare them as we went through it. And when we left the council meeting last time, we talked about we were going to have a work session on this. I even gave availability, I know for myself, but I've never been contacted about it.
Yeah, no, I was going to get a hold of you, and then and after that meeting, I got a hold of Cam, and he and I have been going back and forth on the language on it. And so just because of the roles, I was going directly back and forth with Cam on it. And I think he sent communication out to everybody to indicate the legal analysis of the ordinance.
Well, and I appreciate that, and with certainly due respect and courtesy, I would have thought that some of the council would have been involved in what those modifications would have been when we talked about a work session. I expected that when we left, that's what was going to happen.
Yeah, so
I hadn't heard a word since the last time.
well, we sent a letter out, I believe, Cam.
well,
Yeah,
right.
so because him being the town attorney, that's why I went back and forth with him on this matter. But no, I didn't do a work session on it just because of him being the attorney. We didn't have an attorney at the last meeting, so it kind of left us a little bit short. But yeah, that's how we got to the current iteration.
All right. Any other discussions or thoughts in regards to it? Number of options. It could be tabled and set over to the next meeting. It can be considered tonight to either approve or not approve it as it is.
I mean, with the comments that were made and your concerns, I think tabling at this point in time would be my personal.
Is that in form of a motion?
And I would make that motion to table it
Thank you,
until
sir.
a future date.
Second.
Second.
All right. Any additional discussion? All right. Mrs. Kingsley, call roll, please.
Mr. Webb?
Aye.
Ms. Quetch?
Aye.
Ms. Pillion?
Aye.
And Vice Mayor Austin?
Aye. All right. Between now and next time we come together, let's try to discuss it so we can be.
We can do that.
Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, sir.
All right, moving on tonight under new business, item 2 is the discussion of the 15-year lease between the town and the Depot Artists Association, a Virginia nonprofit corporation, for the property at 314 Depot Square, the Arts Depot. We, I believe, have heard an overview of that. Would anyone like have Mr. Cochran answer any questions or go over that again? Hearing none, what is the pleasure of the council?
I'll make a motion to accept this.
I would second it.
All right. Any additional discussion? Ms. Kingsley, please call the roll.
Mr. Webb?
Aye.
Ms. Quetch?
Aye.
Ms. Pillion?
Aye.
And Vice Mayor Austin?
Aye. All right. Thank you very much. Next is miscellaneous communications from our town manager, Mr. Cochran.
Sure, thank you. One thing, a couple months ago, we had requested approval of a thing for the DOT for pedestrian flashing crossing signs up and down the Main Street here, the little yellow ones, you push the button, and it was a little over $200,000. That got approved, and that's 100% funded. So it'll be sometime in the next fiscal year that we'll actually get those installed up and down Main Street. And even though they're not historic, they do make pedestrian crossing a good bit safer. So those have been approved. I just got the notification today. And one thing I continue to monitor is, and I send the information out, but like Valley Street last month, even after their paving, there was 35 down right past the creek near Dedmore. The radar sign down there at 35,332 vehicles go by with an average of 29 and 85th percentile of 25. When your 85th percentile is the speed limit, that's phenomenal. We really have a pretty good compliance rate there. One thing that was mentioned at the other council meeting, and I get the request, and the police, they report them, lights from AEP. And there was a person that spoke at a couple meetings ago, and it took us 2 months, but we did get the lights on Plum Alley replaced. We had a couple of the street lights out, and it just ebbs and flows on when we can get those done. But when you see them in town, if you see like a little police tie, like a little ribbon around the pole, that means it's been reported. And we also flag them there so AEP can find them, identify them. But my understanding now is that they've all been fixed. And one thing that I know we've been going back and forth, or I've gone back and forth with the power company on, is the color of the lights, because they're just not the same. And what we're getting is as good as it's going to get, unless we wanted, as a town, wanted to completely pay for all new ones, which I don't know would be very affordable. But that said, they're doing the best they can when it comes to the color of the fixture. It's just that it's very difficult to match that, I guess, that sodium vapor or high compression bulb that's dying out. But in my rides around town, there's a good couple dozen of them been changed out in the last year. So they are changing, but it's going to take a couple of years. It's just doesn't give me the aesthetic that I would really have preferred, but it's what we have. So we're doing the best we can with it. And then one thing we did put out is leaves in the road. When the Valley Street, Main Street in particular, we did all this work on the Main Street flood mitigation, and it works perfect until you pile a bunch of leaves on top of it. And so we did try and put some community education out there via social media, let people understand. Just because, and our folks go out there and they street sweep and they vacuum, but I forget the term Public Works uses, but it's like a tornado and leaves all mixed into one. But this time of year, it's about a month there we have to deal with this. And other than that, it should be pretty good. But you'll notice they're out there. We just ask that if people are doing their leaves, they leave them not where they're in the roadway, because what will happen is when it rains, it washes right over the drains, and then the road floods. And then the millions of dollars we spent fixing the problem is no longer fixed. So other than that, that's about all I had. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody have any questions for the town manager? All right, next are council member reports. Mr. Webb.
Just really quickly, I'd like to thank all of the business owners and the citizens that were participating in the Halloween festivities. It was a great success. I've never seen so many happy kids in all my life. And everything seemed to be very calm and, successful. So thank you to everybody that was involved.
All right, thank you. Ms. Quetch?
Yes, I have some prepared notes on it because I have a tendency to repeat myself. And I don't want to go wayward here. I'm just babbling on. So I've got some prepared notes. And I really just want to share my thoughts and concerns about today's discussion on the noise ordinance. I want to start off by saying, though, this really isn't about the business or the person. It's about an ordinance that we have. So I just want to apologize, though, to the residents and the business owners affected by this issue. It's important to remember that this is about an ordinance that allows us as council to work together for our community. Our goal was to solve this ongoing problem in a way that benefits our residents, local business owners, and visitors who love our wonderful community. I also want to express that what we heard here today, the excessive noise presented to us today, for me is unacceptable. I don't believe anyone here, including myself or any resident, would feel comfortable with such disruption happening in their own home. To me, the timing is secondary now. See, when we made this 12-11, we didn't have these videos, okay? We didn't know about these videos. But now that that's come to light, then now I think we can all say that none of us would want that in our home, especially our bedroom when we lay down and try to go to sleep. isn't which was changed from 12 to 11, isn't as important as the noise itself. The amplified sound, and there was some profanity, loud hollering that disturb our residents' quality of life inside their homes shouldn't be allowed at any time. We need to restore a reasonable solution, and we've talked about the decibel level. So I don't know how we move forward on this, but just know that we are aware and we want to serve our community well. And I'll just say that our community is filled with wonderful, dedicated residents and small business owners who are passionate about maintaining a welcoming environment. We all share, I think I speak for all of us, the responsibility to develop and enforce rules that balance the need for noise regulation with the well-being or for the well-being of our residents and businesses. Finally, I'd just like to remind everyone that life is too short. So let's prioritize kindness and understanding and working together. We should love each other more and, if possible, do everything we can to live at peace with everyone.
Thank you. Anything else?
I just feel like we are here to serve you, and that's why you bring these things to us. And so,
I heard a good saying the other day, we need to learn to disagree better.
yeah.
Ms. Billy, report?
I don't have anything to add except for thank you for all of our town employees who work so hard to make Halloween, both the trunk or treat and Halloween night, safe for everyone. We appreciate you.
I'd like to remind everyone of November 11th, Veterans Day at 11 o'clock at Veterans Park. A ceremony that will be held there at that time, and everyone certainly is invited. Have a good speaker that will be presenting the program that day, so if you have the opportunity, come out and join us at that time. All right, moving on, we have one appointment to a board tonight to consider, and that's to the Board of Zoning Appeals. The Planning Commission has one member from the Planning Commission who serves on the Board of Zoning Appeals at the same time. That person is Kenny Schuman. Mr. Schuman's term on the Planning Commission is about to end, and he is not eligible for reappointment to the Board of Zoning Appeals. The Planning Commission considered this at their last meeting, and the recommendation that the Planning Commission made to the council was to appoint Jeff Johnson, who is a member of the Planning Commission, to that position.
I would make a motion to appoint Jeff Johnson to fill Kenny Schuman's expired term for Board of Zoning Appeals.
I'll second that.
All right. Any discussion? Ms. Kingsley, would you call roll, please?
Mr. Webb.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Ms. Pillion.
Aye.
And Vice Mayor Austin.
Aye. While we're on that subject, let me mention one other thing. Both Mr. Schuman and Scott Wilson, both of their terms on the Planning Commission are going to be ending very shortly, and neither of them are technically eligible for reappointment. However, as you know, we're updating our comprehensive plan, and the Planning Commission has divided the task of going through the comprehensive plan, and both those gentlemen have shouldered a great deal of responsibility for reviewing sections of that. And they, both Mr. Schuman and Mr. Wilson, would be in agreement to continue to serve in either an advisory capacity or perhaps a short time additional on the Planning Commission, if that would be proper under the ordinance. And we need to check with our town attorney and find out if that's a possibility. But their help in working on the comprehensive plan, I can tell you, would be invaluable for us. So if there's any way we can do it, we need to consider it. But that'll come at a later time. Is there anything else to come before council tonight? I have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We're adjourned.